Welcome to JFDI with the two Lauras. If you are a freelance social media manager working hard to build a profitable business, you are in the right place. This episode is sponsored by our lovely friends over at Agora Pulse, and we're joined by two of our Inner Hub members, Claire and Marielle, who recently joined forces to launch the Instagram Growth Club. As you know, Laura and I joined forces in 2019, having originally been competitors in business. And in this episode, we're sharing our experiences of partnering, as well as getting the lowdown from Claire and Marielle about what it's like to take the leap to build a partnership. So if this is something that's been on your mind, you're going to love this episode. Hello, Marielle and Claire. Welcome to the podcast. Nice to have you with us.
Hello.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Before we go into what we're going to talk about today, I thought it'd be nice if you both just let us know who you are, where you're from, let us know a little bit about you guys. Marielle, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I'm Marielle Bayliss. I run Marielle Bayliss Social. I'm from sunny Brighton. And I am a social media manager stroke marketer, but I also have quite a few services where I run ads for companies I work with, do one-to-one training, and recently have joined forces with the lovely Claire to do one-to-many training.
Love it. Claire?
Hi, I'm Claire and I run Studio 5 Social. Studio 5 is social media management, but I think I'm probably doing that word niching that I don't really like into more training. I tend to work with service-based businesses, and I do social media manager, but most of my work now is either workshops or training because I love that bit. That's my favourite bit.
Yeah, same.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? It's what we say a lot, that the whole point of having your own business is you can create a business that you love. So there's no point doing things that don't bring you joy, as they say. So That's good.
So how did you two kind of join forces and decide to do something together? And tell us what it is you're doing as well.
Well, we met on your ads course in 2020 during lockdown.
COVID cohort.
Yeah, COVID cohort. There was quite a lot of people on that course, actually, because, I'd wanted to do it for a while, but actually all of a sudden I had a kind of an empty calendar and I was like, I'll do that. And I'll fill some of my time. And it was a brilliant course to do. But Claire and I met on that course. And after we did the course, we stayed in touch. And weirdly, every time we started following each other on Insta, and we started to realise that we were posting about the same thing all the time. And we kind of started nicknaming ourselves the social media. We were like, you're my social media twin. And it kind of just started from there. And we just got on, joined a WhatsApp group with quite a few of us. And then I think about just before, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, I kind of texted Claire and said, look, I was like, we both do one-to-one training. We love it. Should we do something together? And she said yes.
Are you?
I said yes.
Like geographically, are you near each other?
No, I'm in Guildford. Well, yeah, we are. It's about an hour and a half, isn't it? I'm Guildford and Marielle's Brighton. So we found a nice middle meet-up point that we both can get to quite quickly.
More local than Laura and I.
Yeah. Maybe I should just join forces with you two, seeing as you're so much nearer to me. You might have to change your names to Laura. But
to Laura.
The four Lauras.
I love it. So that's quite like organic, a bit like very much like us, isn't it? That Laura and I found that we were both doing the same thing and kind of had a very similar conversation. And so was there any hesitation from either of you, or were you just like, yeah, let's just do this?
I think, like you said there, Laura, it felt really like the next step, if that doesn't sound too weird. Because we had just obviously had that COVID cohort with you guys. That group is still, there's like still 8 of us that are still really, really close. It was such a great group for that. And then, like Marielle said, we'd like, oh yeah, because there's quite a lot you can post about as a social media manager, but every single time we looked, it'd be like, oh my God, I've literally just done that post. I've literally just offered that advice or given that value. And then it was like, well, yeah, we're obviously quite similar. And we had both had the discussion around, really enjoy client work, but maybe not as much as we enjoy training, and let's do more of what we love together.
I think also we were doing quite a lot of one-to-ones separately, and we kept talking about how much we liked that part of it. And then I actually think I did another one of the Laura's masterclasses where you kind of were talking about more digital products and, you know, offering a few more things and having a few more tools to your belt. And I think at that point, there was loads of talk around that time about memberships and things like that. And I wasn't quite ready to do a membership, to be honest. I'd looked into it and at that point I wasn't there, and I was like, you know what, the next thing for me probably is a course, I think potentially, and some more masterclasses, which I dipped my toe in. But I liked the idea of doing it with someone else rather than just myself. And I think if I could have chosen anyone to do it with, I thought I'd ask Claire, to be honest, just because we were on the same page.
So, like, you say that you're quite similar, like, and Laura and I are very similar in many ways, but not in others. But like, we'll say the same thing, or we'll be doing the same thing at the same time, which is all a bit weird.
So if you've ever had 2 replies to a DM, you probably have had at the same time. It's because we've both replied to you at the same time,
and normally saying pretty much the same thing.
The same thing, yeah.
So we both have our strengths and weaknesses that kind of complement each other in the business in terms of what we like to do and what we're good at doing. I'm very much a numbers and a data-y person, and Laura's very much the kind of creative one of the two of us. And that works quite well. And obviously that we have a lot that we both share in terms of our knowledge, experience and skill set. But how do you find that split between you? Are you the same in terms of you 100% all just both enjoy the same things, and you both kind of hate figuring out like the finances of things, or do you find that there's that natural divide?
I'm definitely going to say Marielle is way more techie than me, like way more techie. Like, if there's we're using Searchy, which was again another brilliant Laura's recommendation, and I love it, but I don't know how it works. And Marielle totally knows how it works, and so I would definitely say that's where you are much stronger than I am.
I quite like that side I quite like learning the tech side of it, and I'm still learning. I still don't know it all, but that part of it. So I think the organisation of the content and things like that, I'm quite strong on, and I think Claire is sales queen. Like, sales is your jam. Like, I can do sales and stuff, but you do it particularly well. So I'm kind of learn my sales. I copy quite a lot of your stuff, actually. If I'm honest, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that. Yeah, I think, in terms of reels and still, like, in terms of our style of selling, it's quite similar. But the way you come up with you're very, very sales driven, and I am, but you're quite intricate in the way you sell, and I'm a bit clumsy, so I think I'm slightly better on the tech side. But I think that, there's lots of things that we kind of bring to the table that are the same, similar. But I'd say those 2 things, in terms of the collaboration with the Instagram Growth Club, that's probably where our differences are, mainly, I'd say.
Did you know that when you joined forces?
No,
No,
not at all. I think we're probably still finding out these things, maybe, because we ran the beta course in November, and then did a kind of bit of tweaking. And then this, really, the one we're running at the moment, is the first one. And so we're still maybe finding out some of those things.
But I think we still find things out. We're nearly 4 years in.
Yeah, definitely.
And it changes. I would always describe myself as quite a techie person until I met Laura. Like, I did a technical based degree. I used to do HTML for websites. Like, I came from a very techie background, but I think because Laura's much more creative, like, I could do something, but I hadn't got the creative ideas of how something might want to look. Whereas Laura's got that, so she was able to just run with that, and is a bit of a machine when it comes to learning things. So off she would go and she would do it. And but I would have always described myself as a techie person until I met Laura, and now I'm just happy to just be told what I need to do when she needs me to do anything techie. As long as she just tells me
that's
how.
me. Yeah.
It's also quite a systems thing, isn't it? Like, it's quite systematic. Like, now, because I've kind of done it, I've got all the email sequences, they're all in place. I just literally have to copy and paste them. Like, I now have got a system of, how the cohorts go, thanks to Laura. Laura helped with that. But yeah, there's, now I've got all of those systems in place. It's just easier.
Yeah.
See, that makes my brain fizz thinking about that. I just can't even go there.
This is very much like it is in our business, because like I will know how all the automations work and what emails go when and what have you, whereas I won't have a clue of what's going on in like Google Analytics or even in our finances. That's Laura's jam. I'm not interested in anything that's got a number on it. But I think that works really well. Like, you have to place your strengths, don't you? There's no point in partnering up with somebody and still doing the pieces that you either are not good at or you just hate doing, if you know that they are good at them and they enjoy them. And that's a massive benefit, I think, of working together. But do you think that have you come across any like unforeseen benefits by joining forces, do you think?
I mean, I would definitely say a massive benefit for me would be, and you don't know that this is going to happen, this is the unknown, is if stuff's going on in your personal life that you might not have planned into the plan, the fact that there's someone else there that can not carry you, but just front it for a bit, that has been huge for me in the last 6 months. And that was not, that's why I'm going to double up with somebody, but that has been such an advantage, because it's been the difference between being able to keep going with it, and if it was just me on my own, it wouldn't have been able to keep going.
And until the tech goes wrong, and then you're like,
until the tech goes wrong. Actually, I need
you
someone.
coming back? Yeah.
But do you find though that there's this kind of misconception that because there's two of you, you should therefore be able to do twice as much? Whereas actually for us, it means that we probably get less done because there's so much communication that has to go on, so many decisions you have to make. So you don't always get more done, do you?
You don't, but it does feel like the workload is halved, I think.
Yeah.
I really do feel like if I was doing the whole course, like the Instagram Growth Club on my own, that would feel like a lot of work. But I think because it's almost, we both have different jobs to do, and when we split the workload pretty down the middle, I'd say, and it doesn't feel like such a big task. Like, it feels manageable doing it ourselves. And also the other benefit is that, as freelancers, like, I work here in my kitchen on my own every day, and it's quite nice to have someone to phone up or, speak to and go, oh, what are we doing about this? And it's almost like we've got our own little office. We don't, but it feels like it sometimes. It's quite nice. So I like that part of it. It's social. There's a social element of it that I really enjoy.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, someone's got your back, don't you?
Yeah,
because you're both in it together,
and you can bounce ideas, or you can just go, oh, bloody hell, this is a bit hard, or oh, how are we going to do this? And you can just have that sounding board, and someone's got your back, someone's there that you can completely rely on, and you value their input.
I think a huge benefit to us, albeit it can be frustrating as well, is that if one of us comes up with an idea, if the other person's initial reaction isn't, oh my God, yes, this is brilliant, then actually 9 times out of 10, that thing doesn't happen, because if our gut instinct isn't a go from 2 people, then it just won't happen. And sometimes it means that we just park it and come back to it, and then we've tweaked it, or we have a slightly different idea, or we suddenly go, oh, that idea, why didn't we do it this week and this way? And then it goes with it. So it can be frustrating sometimes because it stops us doing things. But I think that's actually a benefit. Like, if we were to have created every idea that Laura and I had come up with over the last 4 years.
Oh my God.
It would
have been shattered.
we'd have given up probably. So it's a good way of like filtering and having that kind of back and forth, which But it is frustrating sometimes, isn't it? Like Laura can come to me sometimes with a really enthusiastic with an idea, and I'm like, nah. And you could tell she's like, but, and I'm like, nah. And it's vice versa, and it can be frustrating, but I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah. Anything I kind of think of, I always stick on Trello. And even if it doesn't happen straight away, it's kind of always there. Like I've still got projects from like years ago that I've still got at the back of my mind and I still talk about. I'm like, oh, just do that.
Yeah, well, we're like that, aren't we? And
not quite as organised as that with them. We would have to go through a lot of Slack messages to find them, but yeah, we should probably be a little bit more organised with our ideas. So on that note, so obviously there's loads of positives, there's a couple of challenges, but have you found anything that is really difficult when it comes to like working as a partnership?
No, not really. I mean, I think the main downside is that we don't live closer, so we can't get together as much. Like I think when we do meet up, they're probably our most productive session, I'd say. We're usually making reels, so most people in the area think we're nuts. So we get looked at when we're in a public place, because occasionally I've come to Claire's house and that's been quite comfortable because there's no one there. But when we've done it met up in a public place, like we were trying to record something recently where we were in a hotel and we just nailed it. We'd absolutely nailed it. And the place was so quiet. And this guy came in with a tray and started doing the dishwasher. And I was like, we'd nearly done that, dude.
Started clinking the bloody glasses. I was like, oh my God.
And I was like, get out. But I think if that's really only the only negative I'd say is that it's just like if you lived in Brighton or if I lived in Guildford, I think we'd hash out a lot more stuff probably. We have to be a bit more creative, I suppose, about how we do stuff. We have to think about it a bit more.
Yeah, we find that too.
It's a different way of thinking about how you can do stuff. And I think that for me, the only real challenge is I actually also have to keep doing my other stuff. And all I actually really want to do is that stuff, is the Instagram Growth Club and all of that. And I'm like, no, I've actually got other stuff. It's dividing your time. I think that's quite challenging.
So how do you divide your time?
I do most of my client work Monday to Thursday, and then I keep Fridays for things like this, like working on our business. And so Fridays is usually when me and Claire do stuff. I mean, I also do my client work during term time and school holidays. If I have clubs and stuff with my kids, I use the holidays to do my own stuff as well. I mean, the Instagram Growth Club was built last summer holidays. So we planned it from January, but we built it and made it during the summer holidays when we had a bit more time to do our own stuff.
Yeah. And similarly, I used to do 4 days a week. So now my client other stuff is Monday to Thursday, and Growth Club or Claire and Marielle stuff is Friday.
And do you see that shifting? Like when Laura and I started working together, like I had we both did, full caseload of clients, and over time, like to a degree, COVID kind of helped me a little bit. It sounds awful, but because I lost a couple of clients through that, and actually I didn't want to replace them because the time we were starting to put into this business was growing, and I still have a couple of clients left now, but I kind of feel like if they were to go, I know I wouldn't replace them. Like I can't because of the time commitments for both. And so do you foresee your time on your joint ventures growing, or do you think you'll always keep it kind of as it is?
I think Claire and I both have discussed this before, and I think we would like to get more of an equal balance between the two, certainly. And the way that we're kind of looking at it at the moment is we do want to grow the Instagram Growth Club, and we do want to grow that side of our business. So yes, I think at some point I still want to do client work, because you need to be in it to have your finger on the pulse, I think, and you need to be practicing. But I think I personally would like to definitely grow it to a point where we could do more, allocate more time to it, certainly. Yeah.
And sort of strategically and plan-wise, that's where Marielle and I are. It's like, how can we do more of this? And what's the vehicle? Which maybe is, maybe how you guys felt, but you kind of are looking for ways. Okay, so this has worked. This is really working. Let's now sort of channel it. So, as Marielle says, it's more of an even thing.
Yeah.
It's organic, isn't it? It's a bit, we don't know what's going to happen, but the idea is to grow it and do more of it. And if all goes well, then, this time next year, Rodney,
Rodney.
Gotta love Rodney.
With us, we had obviously the pandemic was a year after we started working together. And so I'd certainly still got quite a lot of a fairly big client load, and then COVID happened, and as you mentioned, Marielle, your diary suddenly emptied. So we had the time, we launched our membership within COVID. We had obviously our ads academy running. We were doing everything else we were doing, but we had the time because no one did anything, did we? Apart from our daily walk, so it was great. And then suddenly all the lockdowns happened, and the kids all go back to school in my case, and I was like, shit, how am I going to fit this into 6 hours? And it was quite a shock to the system when they finally went back to school, and it was to actually realise, how am I going to juggle this? It kind of forced me to have to make some decisions that I needed to get rid of some of those clients.
Yeah.
The juggle is quite real.
Yeah, for me, I suppose the decision was kind of made for me because of that. I think it would be much harder to have to make that decision, because it's nice
without
having your own work.
Yeah,
and it's good. You've got money coming in, etc. It's a bit of a leap of faith sometimes, isn't it?
I think for us, we've said this twice now. We've run it twice, and the buzz, the high that you get when you've done that thing, that is pushing us to do the next thing, and that's why you want to do something else and keep going with it, because it just feels great.
Yeah, addictive.
When we did the first one, we were genuinely quite sad when it ended. Such a lovely group. They were our current group are brilliant too, but I think because it was our first one, it was a really quite an emotional journey. And I think a couple of weeks before we did the course, we both went on a bit of a journey. We had some unexpected things happen. 2 weeks before the course, Claire did, and 1 week before I did. And it wasn't an easy launch, I have to say, the first one. And I think that's why it meant a bit more to us, because the group were amazing, and and it also, because of what had happened prior, it actually gave us something really positive to focus on during that few weeks when we ran it. And it was such a lovely experience, and I think that probably has made it more special to us. I think it's a really special thing to us now. And yeah, we just want to keep doing it, really. And I think because we've been really lucky that everyone who's come on the course has been so lovely, that we're just like, well, this is just really nice. The only reason why we wouldn't do it, to be honest, keep doing it, because it's just been nothing but joyous so far.
And I think a big difference is compared to the client stuff is, my clients are engaged, and if they're not, over time, I can kind of get them there. Everybody that's doing Instagram Growth Club is engaged and wants to listen and learn and execute. And that's very different to the client side sometimes, where it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah. There's a constant battle sometimes, isn't there, with client work in terms of getting them on the same page as you. Whereas when you've got a group of people who have proactively chosen to want to make a change, whatever that may be, and obviously for you it'd be Instagram, it's and they're keen to learn and more importantly keen to take action, it is a good thing. It's really rewarding. You get something back from it. We've obviously just finished our 5K program this week, and you do have that sense of, yes, obviously it's finished, but that was nice. And I always have a couple of days afterwards where I walk around a bit of a daze, don't I? I haven't done anything really constructive this week, because it's like that. Something's ended and it's quite nice, and you've had good feedback, and you've seen some brilliant kind of things happening off the back of it. Yeah. So, and then it suddenly ended. And what's now?
I know, yeah. One of the ladies on the course that we've just run, she's learnt reels, and she's addicted to them. She's absolutely addicted. she's just making brilliant reels like all the time now, and she was petrified of them.
She's doing more reels than we do together combined, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
those kind of things that just kind of like, we're just like, oh, it's great. Like the feel good factor from it is really lovely.
Yeah, it is nice. Like we look at like people who, have like done the ads manager academy and are now like absolutely nailing it as ads managers. And we're like, we did that. Yeah. Obviously they did all the hard work. I'm not trying to take anything away from them.
Yeah, it is really nice to kind of see that kind of that growth, confidence, and in confidence, and watching them just build like on their accounts. It's really nice.
So is there anything, obviously this is something you're going to continue to do, is there anything that you're going to change about it, or are you going to continue doing it in the same way? Like, have you had any big like lessons so far?
The biggest lesson at the moment is have one Zoom link for everything. That is definitely
that is a good one.
Number one learning. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, but I think in terms of the way that we're going to grow it, yes, we've got some things up our sleeve of how we're going to grow it and make it slightly bigger and better, maybe. In terms of collaboration, Claire and I have actually started working on a couple of client work bits together as well. So we've kind of, off the back of our masterclasses as well, so not necessarily the course, the masterclasses that we've run, we've started to find that clients actually would quite like to work with both of us. So we've kind of found ways to make that work. Not that we've got an agency, but that seems to be kind of starting to happen a bit more, which is quite nice. But yeah, we've got some ideas, haven't we, Claire?
We've got ideas, and I also think what we're enjoying at the moment is, as Marielle said, last summer is when we built this course, which took ages and ages and ages, and a lot of thought and a lot of hours went into it. So now it's running as a kind of evergreen, maybe, is that the word we're going to use? It's like we need to run it a few times to really enjoy that, because it's available now for people to access. And the beauty of the way that Searchy works and the way that we've designed the course is, if there are any updates, which inevitably Adam is going to throw at us regularly, we can just go in and update it.
It actually makes it really simple. I think the program that we use, like, it's really simple to just quickly update. I think the tech side of it before I started it was quite daunting, and now I've kind of done it once. I'm just like, oh, well, that's easy. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you need to go into it with the mindset of like when you first started, you probably thought, oh, Searchy, it looks like really big, it's expensive, you've got to pay for it. But when you go into tech like that, you need to go into it with the right mindset of, this is going to be a long game, this is going to make my life easier, it's going to make it better for my students and all of that stuff. And then it pays for itself, and it does make your life easier. It means that you can update your course and do whatever it is that you want to do with it. So we all know that I'm a massive Searchy fan, but I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it was. Everyone that's been on our course has actually, I don't think we've had anyone say it's been difficult to use. I think everyone's just been like, oh, they just cracked on because it's to find everything.
Yeah, I always go into like different memberships and courses now when they're not using Searchy, and it's always like a disappointment.
I have a client who uses Kajabi, and I have to say I never really got too involved with the back end of anything, just because I couldn't. It's just I've never been able to get my head round. I'm quite open to most things, but I just couldn't. For some reason, I had a bit of a standoff with that one.
Yeah. So if somebody is listening thinking, oh, this sounds great, like the two Lauras have joined up, they're a good partnership, Marielle Claire have joined up, they're a good partnership, I need to find somebody who I'm going to join up with. Like, what would be your tips about working with someone?
My biggest tip would be, don't try and force it or find it or rush it. I think it happens best when it happens quite organically. And I don't want to sound smug, and I don't want to come across like that. But, Marielle and I probably courted for, 18 months, like chatting and just being social media people, just chatting, laughing, leaving the odd silly voice note, but over time, very quickly realised that we had quite common values and ideas, and we loved the same things about the job, we hated the same things about the job. And I think that is a really good place to start, because you are quite similar and that.
I think that's probably the main one, is like, actually just don't rush in. I think the other one is start small, because we knew that we wanted to do this course, but before we decided that before we do the course, we'd do a masterclass together so that people could get to know us and test the chemistry, I suppose. And that really worked, because actually the feedback that we got from running the Reels masterclass was really good, and that gave us confidence then, because loads of people said, oh my god, you two make a really good pair, and you bounce off each other and stuff. So that gave us massive confidence to go on to make the course. And I think I'd definitely start small a bit, and then
or do like a project together, like one workshop or a even a live or a Q&A or something, just to see how that works.
Yeah, we did that, didn't we? We started off small. The toolkit originally started off as a small idea. It then grew into a massive idea before we launched it. But it was a small idea to start with. It was just going to be a PDF. And look at it now.
Oh my God, exactly. That's amazing.
But I think
Marielle, we need to come up with a PDF that's going to grow like huge.
Put it on the list. But yeah, if you go into it with the mindset of, I'm going to start a course and I'm going to create a membership and then I'm going to do another course and all of it's just overwhelming and too much. And you might find that actually you don't work well with that person. So, and then you've built a business that doesn't work. So I think that's good. That's a good tip.
Actually, that's a really, really good point. You want to also make sure you're at the same. It's good to have one of you maybe pushing a little bit, but if one of you's like literally launching into space and you're just not quite ready for that's not going to work.
Yeah, we're quite similar in like, I'm working now, I'm not working now kind of thing. Like we're quite similar, like school holidays. We do our own stuff, but actually we're quite good at, we've got certain boundaries, and we are kind of up for growing and stuff, but not to the point where we're going to kill ourselves.
I think you have to be. I think honesty is key, isn't it? Like I'm forever saying to Laura, I can't cope, or like we need to not do this, or or Laura will say,
I just ignore her most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you'll often say. You'll often be like, I can't take on anymore. I just need to concentrate on this. And I think we've just got to, especially when there's two of you involved, when you're both kind of working at your own paces, and then you need the other person's input. It's like we have to remember, don't we, all the time, that actually just because I want Laura to do something on the back end of a website and she might be eating a tea, I am going to have to be patient. And it's just being honest and open about how you work. And like I work obviously in school hours, and then sometimes I'll pick up the laptop on an evening, but then other times I won't. So I'm constantly kind of replying to things on phones. But as long as, you're open and honest about how you kind of work together, then that's going to work, isn't it? It's just when you're not, and you kind of, like you say, you pretend that you're okay with something going the way it's going and it's not, then it's never going to end well, isn't it? It's far better to have open and honest conversations.
And then also know that the other person, just because they're not maybe on their laptop, but it will be done. But it might be done in a different time frame to how you would do it.
I think because we got thrown the curveball, we got a bit of a baptism of fire, I think, on the first one. I think because we got thrown such a curveball, we learned quite quickly that we were flexible enough to deal with it.
Yeah, and it was going to work. That was actually such a massive positive to come out of such a shit time, that it was like, oh, this actually will really work because we really need it to now, and it is. So that was brilliant.
So Laura and I, when we discovered this, it was quite shocking. We're very, very similar, but we did the Enneagram test, and we are both Enneagram 8. So I'm really curious as to whether you two are both the same Enneagram.
We are.
Said that at the same time.
That's so weird.
So weird. So we are, and we did the test twice each. And we both came out as
I don't know what a 3 is. I'm going to go and have a look.
No, I don't know much about a 3. But don't you think that's funny that if you're the same Enneagram, you work well in a partnership?
Like I even tested, like we did the test. I think, again, that was probably in one of the lockdowns, wasn't it? But then we, I don't know whether you did actually, but I did it again, like back in like normal life when I had all the normal kind of pressures of life, thinking maybe I'll answer these questions differently. But I was still an 8.
Still an 8, a strong 8.
Strong 8. Which is interesting because I don't think 2 8s should work well together, but
no.
I mean, that sounds quite fireworky to me when I looked at
you know what we're like.
we're very direct, I think, but then, you guys know that.
But that's why the 2 Lauras work. That is why it's a dream team, you see.
Yeah, we're certainly no bullshit. There's very direct, which is possibly why some people also don't like us, but
So that's the final tip then. If you want to find a partner, make sure they've got the same Enneagram number as you. Go and do the test so you know what you're looking for.
Go do the test before you make any promises to each other. Go do the test.
I don't think we did before.
No, we didn't either. We were way into it before.
We were in too deep by then.
Too deep.
I think I might have an idea for the Lauras. I think you need to do, instead of the directory, well, in addition to the directory, maybe make everyone do the test and list people who are their numbers, and then they can go and find each other.
Match you up by Enneagram number. That's
we have had threads in the Inner Hub before, haven't we, about the Enneagrams?
Yeah, if you haven't done the Enneagram test, we'll put the link in the show notes so you can go and do it. And then let us know. Drop into our DMs and let us know what Enneagram number you are.
And Marielle and Claire, you need to go. There will be Instagram accounts for your Enneagram, and they share. Well, there certainly is for 8s, and they share like memes and funny things that like totally sum up who you are as an 8. You need to go and follow Enneagram 3.
Right, I'm going to go and look.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
they're really good.
do.
They're so accurate. It's scary.
Quick.
Before you rush up to go and find the Enneagram memes, let everybody know, where can they find you? Where can they come and connect with you? Where can they find out more about the Instagram Growth Hub? Where's the best place for them to connect with you?
Instagram, I would say, for us. So I am Claire, and my handle on Insta is Studio5Social. And everything you need to know about the Instagram Growth Club will be in my bio or over on my website.
Yep, same. My Instagram handle is Marielle Bayliss _social. There aren't very many Marielle Baylisses around, so hopefully you'll find me. It's a bit of an unusual one. But yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram. You can DM me anytime. The wait list for the next Instagram Growth Club is on my website, so sign up there for any details on the next one, which will be coming, I don't know, soonish, probably before the summer holidays, I think. And yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah, we'll put all those links in the show notes as well. So get your fingers clicking and go and connect with Marielle and Claire. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today. It was so interesting to hear how other people work in a partnership, and that it's not just us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
That was brilliant. Yeah, thank you for having us along.
No worries. See you soon. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. There was some good tips there if you're thinking about partnering up. And we did talk quite a little bit there about Ads Manager Academy. If you're interested in learning how to manage Meta, Facebook, Instagram ads for clients, then make sure you check out the link in the show notes, which goes to our Ads Manager Academy page. It's at thetwolauras.com/ads. So you can come and join us in Ads Manager Academy. And we will be back again, same time, same place next week. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.